Hello everyone, it's the big Super Saturday here at the IPL. The tournament is coming towards the business end. Teams are grappling for that one final or those two spots in the playoffs. More or less settled are the first two top two teams. It's the race for those the next two spots for the playoffs. It's going to be an interesting day. Two interesting games coming up. We're going to look up at the first game now. It's the KKR versus the Delhi Capitals. It's going to be played at the Abu Dhabi International Stadium. Let's see how the match looks like. And before we get into the preview, in case you do like my videos, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. So we're going to look at the KKR side for today's game. A must-win game. They're coming off a very moral defeating loss against the RCB. It was such a bad game for them. They'll just like to forget that off in one go. But what's very important for them is to regroup and also tactically make some changes because they've still not got a settled batting order. Their bowling is good. They've won games from a position of complete defeat, but that's a positive sign. They need to imbibe some amount of energy from those games. Now, how does their team for today look like? There was an issue in terms of fitness for Andre Russell. There's still no word if he's fit. I do doubt if he would play today, but I think if Sunil Narayan doesn't have those niggles that he had in the last game, I think he should straight away play. Look, Sunil Narayan is a match winner. His 4 overs, they don't go for more than 20 runs, and in that process of those 4 overs, he gets those wickets. And when you have a few left-handers in the Delhi Capitals lineup, Sunil Narayan is someone who is a very potent threat there. Now, what is the flip side? I think, how does a team go here? Now, because an Andre Russell isn't playing, you don't have another power pack batsman there. They're forced to play Tom Banton. But Tom Banton as an opener in this particular setup seems a bit unfit. The reason is purely simple. They've got a Shubman Gill and a Rahul Tripathi. The only thing is, would they look at maybe say having Banton and Tripathi open and get in Shubman Gill at one drop? I don't think they'll do that because Shubman Gill, he takes his time, but he's got to start playing his natural game. The problem is he's a very free playing stroke maker, but unfortunately, given the constraints that he's been put in, he's had to hold up one end. I think today it's about how KKR can unleash both Rahul Tripathi and Shubman Gill. Nitish Rana needs a big game. He's not had a good game at all. He's not been amongst the runs. It's a worrisome sign because in your top three, if two of them don't play well, they're not striking well, then the pressure comes on to the middle order. And I feel somewhere at number 4, they'll have to fix that spot to Morgan. Give Morgan the number 4 spot. Dinesh Karthik can come in at number 5 because these are your fulcrum. These two become the fulcrum of this side. And then at number 6, if Tom Banton can come in and give those blows towards the end of the innings. This is how the top 6 is. From the bowling perspective, they've got to make some changes. I somewhere feel that Pat Cummins hasn't been that effective. Let's be honest, he's tried his best, but somewhere he's not got those wickets that when needed. Lockie Ferguson has done a fabulous job. I really don't know why they didn't pick him up early. Maybe combinations, match fitment, so on and so forth. So in that aspect, if you see, I think you have to drop Pat Cummins, get in Sunil Narayan there, have Lockie Ferguson, Shivam Mavi coming back so that Shivam Mavi can also lend a bit of hand in the batting department, and then Varun Chakravarti coming in there. Kuldeep Yadav, I somewhere feel sorry for him, but given the team combination, he'll have to miss out, and Prasidh Krishna continues to play. Playing at Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi has been a venue where they've won those games. What's important is if KKR can win the toss, bat first, they're finding defending easier than chasing, and that's what most teams today find. Yes, last few games we've seen that chasing teams have won, but in a pressure game like this, where look, Delhi also needs to win this game just to get that position, number 1 position back. And for KKR, if they win this, they're out of that middle order, middle table muddle as what is being called. So that way, it's an important game. This is my team for today. Must win for KKR. They don't start favorites, but let's see how it goes for them. And now we're going to look at the Delhi Capitals, a side that's almost there into the playoffs. It's about the number of wins that they wish to have so that they get into the top 2, which gives them an extra chance to go into the final. A team that's settled, but suddenly the last 2 or 3 games, there are certain things in the armor that are coming up. Shikhar Dhawan has had, I think he's in his form of his life once again, 2 back-to-back hundreds in the IPL. But sadly, they could have had a result where, despite back-to-back hundreds, they would have lost both the games. Because the only reason here is the other batsmen are somewhere not in form or they've lost form. Prithvi Shaw hasn't been in great touch in the last few games. Rishabh Pant's scoring hasn't been what we normally see. He's someone who scores a 200 strike rate or a 180 plus strike rate. He's somewhere being found out, especially in those slower balls or those balls with slightly shorter in length. Shreyas Iyer needs some runs. He needs some game time. Unfortunate that he had a shoulder injury and hasn't really been able to play his free flowing game that he's got. Shimron Hetmeyer has shined in a few games here and there, but largely it's been a Shikhar Dhawan show in the last 3 or 4 games. So that's something that they'll want to correct. They'll want Shikhar Dhawan to play, but at the same time have contributions from all round. From a bowling perspective, they had rested Andrik Notkia and gotten Daniel Sams. Sams did a decent job, but I think for this game they'll want Andrik Notkia back. They may be tempted to rest Kagiso Rabada, but I still feel that it's always better that Rabada plays because Kagiso Rabada and Andrik Notkia they form a very potent bowling attack, perhaps only comparable to a Bolt and Bumrah or a Bolt and Pattinson Bumrah kind of a trio. So this way they'll want to have that settled lineup today because they win this, then they've sort of erased that loss that they had against Kings 11 Punjab. It's a good game for them today. They win, they go back to number one. They lose, they'll get slightly worried because then the next 3 games they'll have to win 2 or 3 just to ensure that they go into the playoffs on a positive side. So that's it. This is the team for Delhi Capitals for today. A potent spin combination, a good batting lineup, an excellent bowling lineup that they have is a team to beat. They start favorites for this game. Let's see how they play. And now we're going to look at the matchups for today's game. A few strategy punts from here and there if I have to see. In case Delhi are bowling first, Delhi would be tempted to use Ashwin up front because Ravichandran Ashwin is a kind of bowler who would want to silence the batsman. Shubman Gill is someone who's already not striking well. He could get Shubman Gill into a tangle and get him out. The same could also apply for Kagiso Rabada versus Rahul Tripathi. It will be an interesting battle to see that because Rahul Tripathi wants to play only one way. He wants to go for his shots. Rabada is someone who would not hold back. So that's one interesting battle. The second part could be when Owen Morgan comes in. I'm sure Shreyas Iyer would once again toss up the ball to Ravichandran Ashwin and say that just get him out as early as possible. Because Morgan is known to play the reverse sweeps, he's known to play those cheeky shots, and Ashwin has his own variations as well. The other part could be how Kagiso Rabada and Dinesh Karthik. I think that's another interesting battle. It's not a huge battle like an Andre Russell versus Kagiso Rabada, but then Dinesh Karthik is also he's a very street smart cricketer. He has those different kind of shots in his array. It's about how he will want to play against Rabada. The other combination, the other matchup, that is the bowlers from KKR versus the batsmen from the Delhi Capitals. As soon as the openers come out, I somewhere feel it's the ideal time to have Varun Chakravarti or Sunil Narayan bowling up to them. Look, Prithvi Shaw is not comfortable against spin. Shikhar Dhawan versus a Varun Chakravarti would be very interesting. An off spinner. Dhawan is known to play those expansive sweeps and drives, so you could get him out there. And then another battle that will be there, that will be very interesting to watch, is how Lockie Ferguson gets tackled by the Delhi batsmen. Someone like a Shreyas Iyer or a Shimron Hetmeyer, or for that matter even Rishabh Pant. Look, Lockie Ferguson varies his pace very well. He can bowl fast, he can bowl those Yorkers, but he can also bowl those slow Yorkers. So it will be interesting to see two teams where Delhi seem to be the clear favorite for this game, but never discount the KKR. They're coming off a bad loss, sorry. They'll want to obviously prove their doubters wrong. It is a very interesting game. It's a day game, so there's no chance of you in the oppressive heat that's there in Abu Dhabi. It's going to be interesting to see. I somewhere still feel it's better to win the toss, bat first, set a total, and then apply the pressure. May the best team win. All the best to both these ones.